Well, I would love to start one of these up and make some sounds for you guys, but unfortunately I pulled the battery on them. I'm about to go and start taking this one apart and getting the motor out of it. But as I alluded to in my earlier video, that's a Powder Lights Nitro, and that's an impulse turbo nitro. So I think pretty much anybody that has been around the 4-strokes is going to tell me, well, get the impulse one going. Because really the impulse one, it's probably a better all-around kit. It has a surge take up front, so it's not going to run out of fuel. They move the gas tank to the back to put some weight on the rear. It's a responsive kit, nice little short header. It's got a big turbo, 2871 Garrett. So that thing's going to run in 12 and 15 pounds of boost, and it's still going to be blowing real cold air. On both of these sleds, I installed a boost it kit because fueling in the mountains is always kind of became an issue when you're doing some kind of an aftermarket turbo. Powder Lights is a great kit, and maybe I'll take a little bit of heat for this, but the fueling, in my opinion, always left something to be desired. He was running the RB3 box. I never got it to run. I could never get the RB3 box to run. The Pure Logic box, you know, if you're gonna run 10 pounds of boost for a short little poke, you could get it to run like crap enough to where it was like, it was just, you would always be mildly irritated about the fueling. The MCX kits, well, their fueling was always there because they ran extra injectors. So on the big end, they would always have the amount of fuel they needed. So on the big end, these things really come alive. I think they get lazy on the bottom end because the way the injectors work is I understand it. And if I'm wrong, by all means, correct me. When the supplementary injectors fire, all three fire at once. So it's going to flood out the fuel injection system right out of the gate a little bit, and then it will clean up on the big end where you need the power. And as long as you keep it wide open, it's not that big of a deal. Where with the boosted kits, the injectors they fire, direct port style, to where each injector is going to fire on the event of the stock injector. So you're going to get pulsing through the injectors. So that should be able to clean up the bottom end a little bit compared to the MCX kit, but then it's going to have fuel on the big end where you need it. I mean, as far as I know, this kind of represents, besides MPI, which MPI did superchargers, and this used to be a supercharged nitro, and it ran fine as a supercharged nitro, but the big problem is, has no big end. The blower is only good out of the hole. It rips really, really hard in the first part of the hill, but, as it starts to build heat and as you start to go and need the power on the big end, it just leaves a little bit to be desired. Also, because the supercharger is belt driven and a centrifugal clutch is RPM sensing, you run into a huge problem when, let's say you're running big heavy weights on your clutch because you're running big power, but all of a sudden you're coming up, 700 RPM short. On the blower, you're going to be making way less boost than what you need. So now not only are you short on RPM, so you're not in the power of the motor, but the blower is running 3 less pounds of boost. So you're also making less power than where you were projecting to be. It made tuning this thing an absolute nightmare, and MPI was absolutely no help. I have a bunch of different pulleys over there that I had tried, and I was basically on my own to make this thing run. And I did. It ran good, but I was still getting ran down on the hills on the big end by turbo sleds. So if you can't beat them, join them. I went turbo. So this one has a tired motor, leaky rings. I got the motor that way. I don't want to talk about it. That motor, I ran too much boost with not enough octane. It's that simple. I was running around 18, 19 pounds of boost. They told me not to. I did it anyways. And, well, that's that. That motor's no good no more. But this one, low miles. I think this one has about 1,200 miles. MCX turbo. He said it didn't run. The clutching is so bad it would barely even climb up onto my trailer without burning the belt up. I don't know what's going on there, but the motor runs fine. And that's what I'm here for. The motor runs fine. So Yeah, I've kind of pulled these. I've kind of already pulled that thing apart. I put it back together. This sled, I bought it, and man, I wanted the Impulse Nytro. The guy said it was running good. It was not running good. I bought it anyway. I think I paid $6,000 for it, which is a good deal, I guess. But that sled was not put together very well. That's just a skinny. It just wasn't put together well. So, I mean, this one really is the show here, though. That's, this one is, this one has all the fancy parts. There's that big turbo. He's using all tile stuff. So the guy that owned the company Impulse, his name was Paul Horschel, and I'll tell you, the guy just seemed to be a hell of a fabricator. The system he had come out, it was just potent. He put the turbo right up on top of the motor here. His charge tube is less than 12 inches. The charge tube on the Powder Lights one's much longer. Now, as far as lag goes, we're going to see if we can't make the lag go away by doing proper cam timing. I've got the cam timing where I like it on these things. I know some of the guys in Canada that run these more than I do they've got them running way better than what I do. That's a fact. But here's a little bit of the cam timing I've done. That's where I had the valve shims at on the other one. I got some numbers that I know that work good with these nitros, but we're gonna get real close to this valve timing. Look, I don't mind telling you guys my secrets. We're gonna go and get the valve timing hopefully good on this thing to where throttle response is still gonna be real instant. We're gonna try to run it at 10 pounds of boost with a head shim, but just a thin head shim. They're putting 60 thousandths head shims on top of this and then splitting a head shim for a total of 80 thousandths head shim. We're going to put just under 40 thousandths head shim total. So we're going to run less boost. I'm going to learn another lesson on this, let's be honest. I'm going to burn this motor up too, probably. But I'm going to try to run less boost, more compression. I'm going to try to make this a peppy nitro. And then if this one goes well and this nitro's as peppy as I think it is, we'll take this thing apart. Look at this wiring. Good gosh. Good gosh. Oh, my guts. My guts. This makes my head hurt so bad. So this sled's getting the whole workover. This sled needs a workover. Like a huge workover. There's missing rivets right there. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my. I'm going to try to put some things together this year that look at least a little better than that. Let's see. This is something. I put this together in like probably 2010 and it's 2025. So I might have only been like 27, 28 years old when I built this thing. I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. But this one's got a little bit nicer parts. I try to keep my wiring a little bit cleaner than what they had over there on that other one. Yeah, but this one also has some timing work done. I don't know if you can read that. But I sent this to Evo Motorsports and they pulled out some timing out of this CDI box. And that's how come I'm hoping that I can run this thing. 10 pounds of boost, good feel, maybe 12. I'll put some race fuel in it. I don't mind a little bit of race fuel. But I'd like 10 or 12 pounds of boost on 40 thousandths of a shim motor. We'll see what comes of it. I'm going to steal some parts off that. Anyone that knows the MCX turbo knows that MCX uses a very nice charge tube compared to this one. The charge tube actually lets the snow get kicked up on it and helps cools the charge. So hopefully we get that cooling the charge, the intercooler cooling the charge, good compression in the motor, quick spooling turbo. This thing could be the ticket. I mean, now here's the other thing. I haven't ridden a Nitro in about 15 years, so I'm sure the second I get on this, I'm going to remember how much I hated these big four strokes. But hopefully 260, 270 horse makes me remember why I'm building it. But anyways, this is what I got going on. I'm gonna start getting the fluids out of this one and getting the motor out of this one, and I just realized I gotta get the motor out of that one too. That's gonna be fun. So yeah, these two are coming apart. The red one's coming apart, the MCX Nitro is coming apart. I'll get that one going the way that I want to, hopefully here in the next few days. Shims are already on the way. I've got head studs coming. Gosh, I just remembered I have a lot to do to this motor before it goes in. So it won't be a few days. It'll be a week or two, because I'm going to have to weld up a motor stand. Man, this just keeps getting better. Yeah, I've got some work in front of me, so I'll see if I can't record some of it and show you guys what we've got going. But if all goes well, we'll have 2 rowdy 4-stroke Nitros ready to go this winter.